Hey guys, Galeforce Online, and in this video I want to talk about 5 good changes that was made to ESO. So there's very common ones like jewelry crafting, which was added with the Somerset pack, Clockwork City, which introduced the Transmutaion system, which can change your traits on weapons and armor that you want, and also housing, which has different items that you can use, like testing dummies and crafting tables and that kind of stuff. But these 5 changes are not specific to a DLC or that was used to advertise the game in some way. These are just quality of life changes that I thought was really good. So the first one I want to talk about is One Tamriel. So before the One Tamriel launched, it was actually level specific to what areas there are and what level monsters you encounter in these areas. So if I were to look at filters there. So going to Oridon, these would be monsters leveled from level 1 till about 24, 26. And then moving on to the next region, moving on to the next region. So if you get to the main areas, like say the Shan, it would go up to level 50 and then into the champion point system as well. But when One Tamriel launched, it actually limited all of that so that everything is at the same level. So everything you would see would be at champion level 160. So when they introduced that, they took the levels away, so you don't really see that on top of enemies anymore, but everybody's at level 160. Now, what was good about this change is that it made the whole world more accessible. So let's say I'm a very high level and I go to lower level places like Oridon or places like that. I'm not just wiping through everything. I kind of need to understand what I'm doing at that point. Alright, it's not extremely hard. You can definitely, if your character is well built, can go through open world areas without struggling too much. But just the leveling system did really well there. Now the downside to this is characters that need to level up through. Now all the monsters are scaled to the same level, so you don't necessarily see the difference between being a level 10, being level 50, and then being champion level 160. Alright, other than your gears and skills and stuff that you have available at the time. So you're not really seeing that level progression as much. So what's happening is that people are chasing to get CP 160 as fast as they can, and not really experiencing the game as much. But even regarding that, I still think that this was a good change, brought a lot more balance to the game, and with new DLCs launching and new places opening up, everything having the same level just definitely works. Right, now the second thing that I really liked, the second change they made that I really liked, was the outfit system. So you could customize what you're wearing, you could change the colors of it, and to show you as an example, this is what the build would originally look like. Alright, if you wanted to craft certain items, you can choose the color of it within limits, you can choose what style you wanted, but that's pretty much limited to there. And if you're farming stuff from areas, then it's whatever style that it's at the moment, and you can't change that style at the time. Also, if you're wearing monster helms, it's very clear to see which monster helm that you have, and you can just see a lot of characters running around with the exact same monster helm, so it wasn't very diverse in that way. But now you can change how you looked, you can change how your sword looked, your shield, all your different weapons, which looks very nice. And the one main thing that I really liked about this let's just quickly find it. Sorry, it's the High Elf staffs. Now, I really like the look of the first one here. So it's pretty much just a spear and using a spear as a staff, alright? But it's the lowest level one you have. So originally, if you made it a CP 160 staff and you crafted it from that style, it would look like this. So it still looks kind of cool, but I really like the original design of it. So this system definitely I enjoyed because you can just make your character a lot more unique in the way it looks. Now the third change I really liked is adding critical resistance to your build. Now, I don't have any buffs to critical resistance at all, and I've got a standard 1350 critical resistance. Now, this was added in the latest patch of Greymore, so it just adds a bit with PvP as having standard critical resistance, so you've got something to start with. Now, people can boost this up a lot to reduce the critical damage that they take, but just having this as a standard just for PvP is very nice. Now, the other change that I liked was the two-handed weapon set pieces. Alright, so one-handed would count as one item set, and another one-handed would count as one item set, and staffs that are two-handed or two-handed weapons would count as two. Now, originally in the game, they only counted as one, so if you had a two-handed weapon, you only had 11 item slots available to make your set up. And if you're using two-handed, like dual wield, sword and board, and that kind of stuff, you actually had 12 set items available. So a lot of people use the two item sets instead of using staffs and such, just for those extra sets and makes a major boost in your build. But I can't remember which change or which chapter they changed it on, but it was a big thing when they did, because it just made it a lot more balanced in the way that having it count as two set items makes 12 pieces available for you to set up your build with the different item sets that you have. Now, a bit of a disadvantage with this one is if you're farming specific pieces, you only need to farm for one two-handed staff, but let's say you're farming for one-handed weapons or armor or shields, then you need to farm both pieces in order to get that set bonus. So that change definitely favored staff or two-handed wielders more, but I still think it's a very good balance change in that way. Alright, the last change that I really enjoyed, that I did a little dance as soon as they announced it, was being able to search for specific items in guild traders. Now, you could do this on PC with certain add-ons, but if you were on console like Xbox or PS4, and you wanted a specific item from a specific set, you had to go search through all the guild traders and to find that specific item. So go through hundreds and hundreds of items and find that they don't have the item that you're looking for. So the change is that you can actually text search, so you can just take a few words from item set. So let's say I search Juggernaut or I search Cyrodiil, then it shows all those item sets that's available from that in that name. Now this was definitely a good change. It saved me a lot of time. Instead of having to go from guild trader to guild trader to guild trader, go through thousands upon thousands of items to see if I can find a specific set, I can just type in a partial name of that set and then have all the items available for me. So definitely a good change that was made, and like I said, I did a little dance when they announced it. Alright guys, that's all from me. Thanks for listening. If you like the content I'm putting out, please hit that like and subscribe. If you have any ideas for videos that need to do in the future, please let me know in the comments down below. Take care and be safe. Bye.